Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Excel Basics again. This is, I believe, the fifth video, and today's video we're going to be focusing on formatting. We've done some of the formulas, built-in functions, sorting, entering values, and labels, so now we're going to focus on formatting. Formatting is really important for professionalism. So the first thing we're going to do is format the numbers. Okay, so we're going to first start with highlighting cells D2 to D9. That's going to be all right for us. That's one thing you should always think about. Right now it's to 2 decimal places. If you wanted it to have no decimal places, we could do that again by reducing our decimal places here to 0. This would be 1 decimal place. This would be 2 decimal places. So let's just leave it at 2 for now. And it just so you know that when you click the % button, it automatically just goes to 0. So that's something you should know. But if you click on the $sign, let's say these were dollars, it's going to put 2 decimal places because dollars usually have cents. So just keep that in mind. Let's put that back up to, let's use 1 for fun. So now, next thing we're going to do is talk about the titles. Notice the titles are not centered or right over the numbers. In Excel, one of the things that you should do when you have headings over numbers is always justify them. See how they moved from the left to the right? They were originally at the left because they are labels, and labels automatically are left justified. But because they're headings over numbers, I would encourage you to always justify them. And for headings over labels, like this label is over some labels, you can either center it or keep it left justified, okay? So that's just some simple formatting. Next thing we're going to do is bold these headings. So I want these headings all to be bold, just like in Word. You know how to do this. I can select the whole row here if I want and put everything bold in that row. I could have done the same, sorry, that was a column. I could have done the same thing here for this row. I can change them all to italics. I could change them to underlines. I don't ever recommend using underlines in Excel. Okay, so that's a little bit of formatting. Let's just go back to the bold. And also, just to let you know, we don't have a heading for this table. So let's go ahead and insert a heading. Did you see how I did that? I'm going to undo it, and I'm going to show you how to do it more closely. I highlighted this row and I want to put another row, so I'm just going to right click and I'm going to go insert, and it's going to put a row above. I could do the same here and I can insert a column to the left. So click on the entire column. Don't just click in it like here, click on it so it highlights the whole column. Click right and hit insert, and it's going to insert some columns. So now we have our table is no longer in the cells that it originally was in. So next thing I'm going to do is let's put a heading of our thing. So let's just type in A1 here. We're calling it tests in Fitzy's class. Okay, so now we have a heading, but the heading doesn't look quite right. I want to format it and center it over all of this. So I could have chose to put it in this cell, but it wouldn't be quite right. So I'm going to highlight all of the cells that I want it to be centered over. So I want it to be centered over all these, and I want these cells to be merged. So if you click here on merge and center, it's going to do that for you. So now you'll see this is one cell. So you can do that in Excel. And if I want to make this column smaller, I can do this. Something you might notice in Excel is if your columns are too small, you're going to get these numbers come up, these pound signs. So if you see that, that means your column is too small for the number that you have in there. So you can make it wider by dragging it. Or the other interesting thing is if you double click right here, it'll make it exactly as wide as you need it to be. So for example, this one, I think this column is too wide for what I have in it. So I'm going to double click and it's going to make it smaller. I can do that for all of my columns if I want. Okay, let's bold and italicize the heading. Now let's talk about borders and shading. So I want this thing to be in a table. Let's put a border around the entire thing. So I'm going to highlight all of the cells that I want to put a border around, and I'm going to right click and hit format cells. And in there you'll see things like number. You can change the number to currency. You can put date, time, things like that. You can do alignment, font, border, fill. We want border. We're going to talk about fill before this video is over. I want to put outline around it. You can choose the weight of that. If I want it to be thicker, choose that line and then click outline. And let's say I wanted the inside to be just a little thinner, I can click the inside. And now there should be lines around everything. Okay, so the other thing I think is really interesting to do is over your headings to put some shading. So let's, I'm going to put that heavy outline around the whole heading and click OK. And now I'm going to just right click on it because I want to do some shading in there. So I'm going to hit Format Cells again. And I'm going to go to Fill. And I'm going to choose one of these fill colors. And I'm going to hit OK. And there you go. So there's some formatting for you. So we've done some aligning of our headings. We've done bold, italics, and whatnot. So let's say we wanted these headings also to be bold. That looks pretty good. And one more thing, why don't we right justify them so that they, wow, that looks really nice now. So there you have it. There's some formatting. Now, last thing I want to do is really talk to you. So we've inserted rows and columns, we've added border, we've changed column widths, we've merged and shaded cells, and we've been able to edit cells. One thing that you could do really quickly is hit F2 if you're in a cell. If you wanted to change it, I could go up here and change the word, but if I wanted to change it, I could hit F2 and it'll take you right into the cell, so you can change it right here. So that's another thing that you should remember. Now, just some other features of Excel that I really want to talk to you about are things like hiding columns, deleting rows and columns, and things like that. So let's say I didn't want to have this mark column. I could click on it, right click, and say hide. And now it's gone. And you can print it that way. So let's unhide it. In order to unhide, I highlight both around, I right click again, and I say unhide. So that is hiding columns. If I wanted to delete a row, same thing as adding it. Right click on the entire, highlight the row by clicking right on the number here. Don't click in the row because you just get a cell. Click on the number 2, right click, and then I can say delete, and it's going to delete the entire row. I can add that back again by doing it the same way, hitting insert. Same thing with columns. If I want to delete this column A, click on the A, right click, and hit delete. It'll take the entire column right out. But you notice my heading is gone because it was in A. So let's undo that. Undo, redo are always some pretty neat features. I'm going to cut it off here, and I'm going to make one more Excel video with a couple other features that are going to be really handy for you guys. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.